Chers collègues, bonjour.
Dear colleagues, good morning. I would like to invite you to observe a silent prayer or meditation. Thank you.
Veuillez nous asseoir.
Excellencies, ambassadors, high commissioners accredited in South Africa, representatives of international organizations, Deputy Chairperson of the Pan-African Parliament, Honorable Chairpersons of the Permanent Committees, Honorable Chairpersons of the Regional Caucuses, Honorable Chairpersons of the Caucus of Women and Youths, parliamentarians, dear colleagues, dear clerk, bureau members. It is always a joy for me to welcome you and to wish you a warm welcome in South Africa, the headquarters of our parliament. Dear colleagues, during the intercession, our sons, a number of our sons lost their lives. Dr. Sirka Toume Dinumasere, the ex-president of Botswana, he honored us by attending our ceremony here. Also, Chief Augustine Celestine Musa, of our fourth vice president. I would like to ask you to stand up and to observe a minute of silence for these sons of Africa. Thank you.
Je vous remercie.
I thank you. Honorable members of the Pan-African Parliament, your attendance honors our institution because you wanted to be in this parliament this morning. in spite of the low temperatures in southern Africa, and also in spite of your commitments. You traveled from far. Allow me to extend my thanks to the national parliaments, which, as usual, provided the necessary support for the travel of our honorable parliamentarians. Your attendance shows how important our meetings are. It is a tradition of the Pan-African Parliament to include in the August committee sittings two events, i.e. the annual meeting of the Secretary Generals, the clerks of African parliaments, and the well-awaited annual conference of the chairpersons of the African parliaments. These two meetings this year will own the theme of the African Union theme, to benefit from the demographic dividend by investing in youths, the role of national and regional parliaments. To address our session today, and for 1 week, the honorable parliamentarians will work hard, because our committee meetings are the backbone of our work. This is backbone of the work of our parliaments. The debate in the plenary was judicially considered by the committees. Every permanent committee will take the necessary time to consider the issues that are part of its competence. However, we will meet our requirements to have the best results, and we shall adopt a cross-cutting approach to the themes of our various committees, particularly when there are cross-cutting items. Also, this is related to the thematic distribution among the committees. The aim is to have greater efficiency. Honorable parliamentarians, dear colleagues, your devotion and your attendance of the various committees will meet the expectations of African people, especially African youths, who represent the major part of the demographic nature of our continent. When you will discuss the various issues of economy, good governance, women's conditions, girls' conditions, agriculture, education, health, or infrastructure, please keep in mind that it is through your work that the living conditions of our populations will improve. These populations have vested their trust in us by making us their representatives in the Pan-African Parliament. The mandate of the Pan-African Parliament through its various activities is very important, and it has to play its role fully. We need to provide the Parliament with the legal framework to enable it to legislate to become a full-fledged parliamentarian institution. Today, we all know that the state of the ratification of the protocol to the Constitutive Act of the African Union relating to the Pan-African Parliament is still low. This level of ratification will not enable us to meet the 28 ratifications needed so that this becomes a reality. Dear colleagues, during the last 2 years, we have acquired a number of gains. But allow me to say that these gains are fragile, because our behavior will determine the future of our Pan-African Parliament. It will take a pronunciation to re-question our gains. That was the case during the last session, where many pretended that the Pan-African Parliament spent more time on discussing per day and appointments in the form of corruption without taking into account the internal rules of procedure. For those who conveyed such information, allow me to say that this will be detrimental to our institution, which will not be able to make gains. I would like to those who witnessed what the Pan-African Parliament can bring to the African Union, I would like to ask you to take up your duty to sensitize and assure our states about the ratification and to put an end to all forms of denunciation which re-question our gains. While we wish you full success in your deliberations, allow me to say how much I'm happy to see that men and women in our parliament can represent Africa and defend the cause of Africa. I declare open the deliberations of our parliament committee sittings. Thank you. Mr. Clark, can you make your announcements, please?
Honorable members, the following is the allocation of meeting rooms for the meetings scheduled for today, the 7th of August, 2017. We have 6 meetings this morning. The Monetary and Financial Affairs Committee will meet in Committee Room 1. The Committee on Justice and Human Rights will meet in Committee Room number 4. The Committee on Health, Labor and Social Affairs will meet in Committee number 3. The Committee on Education, Culture, Tourism and Human Resources will meet in Committee Room number 2. The Committee on Trade, Customs and Immigration will meet in Committee Room number 5. The Committee on Audit and Public Accounts will meet in Committee Room number 8. That is for this morning. This afternoon, there are 5 committees scheduled to meet. The Committee on Transport, Industry, Communications, Energy and Technology will meet in Committee Room number 5. The Committee on Rules, Privileges and Discipline will meet in Committee Room number 4. The Committee on Rural Economy, Agriculture, Natural Resources and Environment will meet in Committee Room number 2. The Committee on Cooperation, International Relations and Conflict Resolutions will meet in Committee Room number 1. In Committee Room number 3, there will be a capacity building workshop on disability mainstreaming for committees on health, labor and social affairs, and gender, family, youth, and people with disability, justice and human rights. That will be in Committee Room number 3. Thank you, Mr. President.
Merci, Monsieur le Secrétaire Général.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. We are going to have with us the chairpersons of parliaments and senates the 9th and the 10th of August. I would like to invite you to attend the opening ceremony of that conference, whose importance is well established now. We should show our chairpersons, our speakers, that we respect our parliaments and we will give them the warmest welcome possible, and we will have to be here before they come to the opening ceremony. Now this session stands adjourned. Thank you.